Welcome to the latest edition to What's in the Skillet. We're going to be whipping up some greasy funk today. But first, hit that subscribe button, okay? Yeah, you ready? What's happening, my people? I'd like to thank everybody for coming to my page, and don't forget, hit subscribe down there at the bottom. But today what we're going to do is, well, every week, every Friday, I am going to start putting out bass tutorials. I'm going to take the simplest of bass lines and I'm going to show you how I'll just add very small ghost notes. I'm going to show you a little bit of my rumble technique and just show you a different approach to keeping it really simple, not overplaying, but keeping it simple, but yet really funky. And I think it's important, you know, especially if you're a bass player or if you're in a band, the drummer needs you to be in that pocket. So I'm gonna really try to concentrate on showing you how to find that pocket and like lay behind it, sink into it. And then when you start feeling that bass behind the beat, then that's where that funk comes from. So we're gonna be laying into that. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the rumble technique. I'm gonna break it down a little bit. I'm gonna go into a little groove here and show you guys how I'll go from a basic groove with a few little licks to make it funky, but keep it very simple. And then how I can go into this whole rumbling groove with nothing but ghost notes. And you'll get to hear what it does to the band, how it would transition the whole feel of your entire band. And so I'm going to show you that technique. Prince used to love when I did that. Whenever we would go into a groove, you know, he'd break it down and say, BrownMark, you know, bass and drum. And then this is the kind of stuff I would go into. And he loved it and it worked. And of course I got it from none other than Larry Graham and, you know, Sly and the Family Stone. I mean, come on, we all know that's where it came from. That's where it started. So, you know, gotta give big kudos to them. But anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna grab my equipment here and I'm gonna show you guys what I got cooked up for you today in the skillet. Yeah. All right, now that I'm all situated, what I'm gonna do is I prepared something for you, so I'm gonna play it all the way through, and then I'm gonna come back and bring the camera in a little closer and kind of share with you some of the things that I'm doing on the bass. So, you ready? Let's do this. Let's roll. Y'all ready? That was the basic groove. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera a little closer and I'm going to show you kind of some of the little ghost noting that I'm doing and give you an idea of what makes it feel like that. Because, you know, I've heard a lot of bass players play this stuff, but you want to get close to how Prince had that feel, then you might want to stay tuned, and I want to show you how he approached the bass and why a lot of his stuff laid so far back in the pocket and had that certain growl to it. So I was really able to pick up a lot of his style when I played with him, and I'm going to share that with you. I've never done that before, but I decided I'm going to start doing it. So stay tuned. I'm going to bring the camera in closer and we're going to take a closer look at some of the stuff I'm doing. All right. All right, we're set up. We're gonna start with Let's Work. That was the first song I played. And now a lot of bass players I noticed will play it with, it starts in B to E. So a lot of people would do octaves here. That's the way I play it. It sounds best, it's stronger. I like to play, I like to give my drummer as much growl as possible. So I'm doing the octaves on that B, and then the E. Let's work. And then when you're playing the lick, it's really simple. It's just, you're starting with that B. See how that goes? A few bass players just work on that, because that's where a lot of bass players get this part wrong. They want to go. No, it's this. That's a ghost note. So, see? It's not an actual note. You'll notice a difference when you're playing it like that. If you go, oh. See how that sounds? But just, and then give that, give it a nice twist. So, makes it feel a lot better. And then you're just going to do this chord. E. You're going to end on that D. Like that. See, it's the feel. And then it just repeats itself. There's a turnaround part in the song that goes. That's another part that I see a lot of people struggling with. But if you break it down to basics, just starting on that B, same as the song. It's the same as the song, you're just playing the pattern different. Now, I'm going to put some ghost notes. Notice how it changes the whole feel of it. It's just. Now watch how it sounds when I add that to the song. Just practice that over and over. I'm going to go really slow. Just do that slowly every day, you'll get it. The next part we went into was this rumble groove. Now, this I'm signature for this because this is how I used to play with Prince. This is how I started out. This was one of the things he liked so much about my bass playing and my style. Whenever he wanted to go into a groove, now Prince loved the key of B or B flat. Every time we jammed, we were in B flat basically. But just using that same B, I'm just gonna hit the B and I'm going to rumble the bottom note. See, I'm just rumbling the other two strings, the A and the D. And then I'm going to slide down. And then I'm going to do an up chop with the thumb. So it's like that. That's all it is. And then learn how to strum with your thumb and find that feel. It's like once you learn that, it will become easier and easier. It will become second nature in your playing. So what I'll do is I'll start adding licks with that. So all I'm doing is taking that D and I'm taking the G and I'm going so. That's all the rumble technique is. Now, I'll do it in many different patterns though, but I don't want to confuse anyone, so I'm just going to show you that pattern right there. And I've used that in many songs, and you probably didn't even notice it because the groove starts to pulse. And once that groove starts to pulse, see, it's because of that pattern. It's almost like putting a drop of water in a smooth pond, and then you see this ripple. That's what it is. It creates this ripple pulse. And then once the whole band starts to feel that pulse, everybody will fall in with a groove. You can put solos on top of it. You can do whatever you want. So that's something to always learn, always remember, and really learn that pattern. So that's all it is. Now, when we did head, we're starting on an A. Again, like with Let's Work, some people do the octaves. I like to do the octaves, and then sometimes I do the single note. But I bend it like that, so. See, and I'll pluck that. It just gives it some feel. But you notice I'm keeping it very simple. Don't make the mistake of going. You know, that's what bass players do. Prince always said to me, keep it simple. The simpler it is, the funkier it is. Just. I always put that in there. And there's another lick. Now you'll notice I use my thumb when I play. The lick goes. And all that is, I'm going G to the F sharp, so. And then I'll drag it down. See, that's all it is. I'll slide into it and drag it down. That's some Larry Graham right there. So. Hear how that feels? Feel good, don't it? Another thing that I do is, if you notice, I'm always hitting on the downbeat. That's how I keep my pocket. That's how I lay behind the drummer. Because I'm feeling that kick in that snare. So it's, see. So, the only other lick that's in that song is on the breakdown. So it's. Now this is a triplet. And all that is just, you know, ghost noting. So that's it for this week's edition of What's in the Skimming. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the subscribe button right there. And next week I'm gonna come back and bring you some more. Next week I think I'm gonna do some more Prince or do some Cameo. Cameo had some tight bass lines, so we might attack some Cameo next week. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep you in suspense. But if you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe. I could use your support to try to grow this page and try to grow the BrownMark Nation brand. And this summer we got a lot coming your way with the Bad Boys of Paisley, and of course with the Revolution. Everybody's in talks. COVID's going away. We're getting ready to open back up, so we'll see what happens, y'all. So in any case, just be safe out there. Wear your masks, even if they tell you not to. Let's be safe so that we can see each other again. Again, hit subscribe. I'll see you next week.